Hey friends, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about lab work and blood work, nutrient deficiencies on a raw vegan and vegan diet. Kind of like what to look for, what symptoms to look for, and the issues that may come up in getting accurate lab work and blood work, and how to interpret your results, those sorts of things. So first things first, key nutrients to look out for include B12, D3, iodine. These seem to be the most problematic nutrients, and if you suspect you may have issues, if you're having a lot of cravings, if you're having a lot of symptoms that can't really be explained or maybe are being labeled, chronic fatigue syndrome, these kinds of chronic illnesses by your doctor, or you're just noticing symptoms within yourself, problems with digestion, problems with energy levels, problems with headaches, other just nagging little things, and as well as lots of cravings, overeating, not feeling satisfied. These all may indicate some underlying nutrient deficiencies, as well as if you're noticing emotional and mental issues. So if you're having like mental fog, brain fog, you're not able to think clearly, you're not able to stay focused, stay on task, have enough energy to do whatever it is you need to do in the day. If your mood's kind of funky, it's going up and down, you're having a lot of anxiety, you're having irritability, these sorts of things may indicate a nutrient imbalance or nutrient deficiency. They also may indicate you have emotional issues that you need to work with. I mean, these things go hand in hand. But I, as a holistic practitioner, as a holistic health coach, as someone coming from a holistic standpoint and perspective, I like to focus on let's treating the body, let's treat the physical, let's treat the heart and the mind and the spirit as well. All of these components are very valid and very necessary for healing. So if you're having any kind of mix of these physical, mental, emotional symptoms, then it's very good to do some research. I will link to Don Bennett's articles on B12, D3, and iodine because he has this wonderful perspective that those three tend to be the most problematic nutrients for vegans and raw vegans, and they often cause various symptoms that are otherwise mislabeled, misinterpreted, causing confusion. And maybe we supplement, maybe we don't, maybe we're aware of the issue or not. And it's really important to make sure that these three nutrients are where they need to be, just as a foundational thing to look at. So do some research. Then it may be time to consider getting at least annual blood work. See what the lab, see what the biology can tell us, and the choice is yours as to where to get your blood work and your lab work done. Personally, I went to the Holistic Urgent Care in Scottsdale, Arizona, where I reside, and I paid cash for my labs, and they were like, so that means no insurance. I don't have health insurance. I do not pay for health insurance. So I paid cash for them, and because I paid all up front, I was able to get a 50% discount. So what was a $400 or $500 bill ended up being more like $200 because I asked for the discount and because they told me if I ask, I will get the discount. So that was really, really helpful. And many places you get blood work done, insurance doesn't cover it either anyway. So it's up to you whether or not you have health insurance. And if you do have health insurance, try and find a doctor that is covered by that insurance, and they will have connections with a lab who will then reimburse you and make it so that you don't have to pay as much money, or sometimes they don't, and the lab work you're having to pay out of pocket. So it's up to you to decide. I really think personally it's the responsible thing to do. Get some blood work done, get some lab work done, unless you're working with a really good clairvoyant psychic or something like that, a medical medium, the medical medium, or another talented medical medium who's able to scan your body and let you know intuitively what is going on. So either route is fine, but having some means to check in with what's going on inside and see if you need to supplement so that you can take the appropriate action. Now, once you get your blood work done, interpretation is everything. It's just as important. Blood work and lab work, urinalysis, hair tests, whatever, all of this is going to show you a snapshot of where your body is, what your blood is doing that day, that moment, that morning. It's just a picture. So again, the results are not going to be like 100% like this is the truth, so take that in mind too, take that into consideration. It is just a snapshot. So it might be a good idea then to get your blood work and lab work, and also check into these more intuitive people who can read energy and scan the body using more of psychic awareness and higher levels of consciousness, because friends, that stuff can be really, really helpful, valid, valuable, and informative as well. So whatever resonates too. If you're like, no, that's woo-woo, then go with the blood work. If you're like, the blood work is nonsense, maybe try the other. If they both sound kind of resonant, then get both. It's up to you. It's your health journey. It is your health path. So once you have those results, if you do choose to go the blood work, lab work, urinalysis kind of route, then if your doctor is not vegan or raw vegan, you might have a mess on your hands, because that doctor or nurse practitioner or whatever kind of practitioner is not used to reading vegan or raw vegan lab work. So friends, it can be really helpful to have a plant-based vegan or raw vegan doctor who can help interpret your lab results. I know doctors Rick and Karen Dina are raw vegan doctors. I know there are other raw vegan doctors out there who can interpret blood work for you. There's plantbaseddoctors.org, I believe. I will link to that, where you can search a database and be connected with doctors in your area who are plant-based, plant-awake kind of people who may be better choices and have more of a integrative framework within which they can interpret lab results. I am really lucky because my aunt is a MD, she's trained doctor, and she's a healthy, whole foods, plant-based person, practitioner herself. So I can call up my aunt and tell her, send her pictures of all my labs, and she is kind enough to go over those results with me and help interpret things that I don't know what the letters mean. And she's like, okay, this is this and this is this. And yeah, your doctor's gonna think this, but in reality, this is very normal and healthy, because there are some differences. And if you are just having your lab work interpreted by a mainstream doctor who's not used to looking at vegans and raw vegans, they may tell you things that aren't helpful, aren't true. They may tell you that, oh, this is way too high, or this is way too low, and this is unhealthy, and you need this supplement or this drug or whatever, or you need to change your diet because this isn't right. And that may or may not be true. So it's really helpful if you work with a plant-based doctor, an Ayurvedic practitioner, a Chinese medicine specialist, whatever you are drawn to, whatever kind of healing framework you're working within. If you're on medical medium lifestyle, then working with a nurse or nurse practitioner or other holistic doctor professional who is familiar with medical medium lifestyle and is familiar with the type of labs that are necessary and helpful and what kinds of results, what they mean in real and helpful terms. So that is of paramount importance, because often you can get lab work done, it's interpreted by a mainstream doctor, and you're not told anything helpful. I dealt with this a lot with my thyroid condition and reproductive issues, and kind of coming to the awareness that it wasn't useful for me to be working with mainstream doctors, because I ended up being more confused and thinking that my diet was bad or my diet wasn't working, when in reality the diet was just fine. I did need some supplementation, and now I'm finally in a position where I will check in regularly with lab work and blood work, and I have the support of my aunt to interpret those results. I also have the support of Don Bennett, who is helping coach me through iodine therapy and interpreting the results of those tests. And otherwise, I'm just on maintenance dose of supplements, and that's working really well. If you're analyzing the blood work yourself, good luck. If you're not a medical doctor, if you don't have any kind of training, because it can be very confusing. As I said, I would spend the extra money and get some support. There are enough people within the raw vegan and vegan community who can interpret blood work for you. And why not support them in supporting you along your health journey? I think that's a good thing to do and to utilize if you don't have medical training yourself, or someone you're close to isn't able to provide that for you. So that is basically my experience and what I have to share about supplementation and lab work interpretation. I have written about the particular supplements and deficiencies I've worked with on my blog, TaylorANorris.com. That is linked in the description, particularly B12, D3, iodine, as well as thyroid, which I'm treating with the iodine. Omega-3s, I have articles on all of those on my blog. And yeah, right now I'm using a combination of maintenance dose supplementation, listening to my body, my intuition, developing, as much as I can, those medical intuition skills myself, just to work with myself, as well as getting annual or more frequent lab work, working with my aunt to interpret those results, and just eating a really healthy diet and intuitively tweaking my diet as I see fit and as I am guided to do. So I hope this video empowers you to look into what's going on with yourself physically, either via lab work and or a medical medium or medical intuitive psychic type individual, or both, or do both. Friends, I may be getting that kind of reading in the future, and if I do, I will certainly share with you my experience because I think that's really cool. The more I learn about it, I'm very fascinated and also skeptical, not gonna lie, but you know, I have an open mind and we shall see. Do your due diligence. Go with your inner guidance. Go with what resonates. Go with what feels true and real and truthful to you. And that's how the path of health works. That's it. You're on it. So thanks so much for watching. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe for more. Much love to you. Namaste and take care. Be well.